are the sandlot days of playing sports just for fun. What was once just a pastime has turned into a scholarship-hungry and money-grabbing industry. Is it all worth the price to play? According to a recent CBS survey, only 2% of high school athletes receive NCAA athletic scholarships, with those amounting to an average of less than $11,000 a year. Yet according to our local survey, nearly 47% of parents were hopeful their child would earn an athletic scholarship. Each year, it seems children are starting sports younger, and not just younger, but at a more competitive rate. Parents oftentimes are told their child can get a scholarship, but in most cases, the parents pay the price of the tuition and more just to put their child in club sports. So the question of is it worth it becomes more than just money, but is it worth the time, finances, and energy spent on the sport? In Arizona, hockey is one of the most expensive sports youth can play. In addition to the costly equipment, ice time is expensive. Hockey, a sport for colder areas, means Arizona hockey athletes have to travel considerable amounts to play at the competitive level, meaning more time and more money. 15-year-old Alex Sprague has been playing hockey since he was about 3 years old. His mom was a member of the Air Force, so moving was a normal occurrence. But as they moved, the focus became where Alex could play hockey.
When we were looking at where to go, one of the things that we would consider because of his interest is, well, where can you play hockey? Is that a place where they have youth hockey?
Yeah, she's going to be deployed or get a job somewhere else. They had to have hockey because I fell in love with it too.
Like hockey, gymnastics can be very costly and timely. For the average youth gymnast, 20 hours or more a week practicing is a normal part of life. Avery Bennett is a level 10 gymnast from Gilbert, Arizona.
Like if you want to be a gymnast, you gotta kind of you have to just do what you have to do what you love.
As Avery and Alex devote time year-round to their athletic endeavors, one thing's for sure, they work hard because to them, it's worth it.
Avery started cartwheeling when she was about 2.5 years old, and then she went to dance class, and I thought that would be enough, but she had so much energy. She flipped around, and I thought we needed to make a change and give her something a little bit more aggressive to do. She was back handspringing by the time she was 4, so she's a ton of energy.
I was hyper. I was running all around the house, like jumping over the couches, cartwheeling, and I was like just back handspringing. So my mom's like, let's put her in dance. And they said that I needed like a more hyperactive sport. So then I went to gymnastics. When I was little and I first started, because I just loved it. It was the highlight of my day. It was so fun, and I like to learn. I was driven by learning new things, so I just kept wanting to build on it. And that's kind of how gymnastics is. You take one skill and you build on it until you get the highest skill you can get.
To watch her develop and do things that the human body just shouldn't be able to do is amazing. So every time she learns a new skill, it's just another awe factor of how do you get your body to do that. And so that's fun and exciting that she's part of that, and that she can do it, and that she puts all those pieces together to do those moves, and it's amazing.
Getting older, I'd get so nervous that I would make myself so nervous I'd get sick. So I just kind of had to learn how to channel it. And now I don't get that nervous anymore. So
she's learned that she has to have faith and to be bigger than her fear. That's one of her favorite quotes.
I do all 4 events, so bars, beam, vault, and floor. I either like floor or vault because beam, it can be very scary, and bars, I'm just not the best at bars, but I like to flip around and leap, and I can do it all, but I like more powerful things.
No, when she was really, really little, we had to make a choice. They had offered her kind of a opportunity to go on the elite track and if she was really young, really young, like 7 or 8 years old. And we had to kind of sit down as, husband and wife and parents and make a determination of what we wanted for her. We wanted her to have normalcy, and she already has a limited normalcy in comparison to other teenagers, but we had to make some decisions to say we wanted her to go to school like a normal kid, and a lot of the kids that are on that elite track are homeschooled part of the day and online schooled, and we wanted her to have those social opportunities, and we wanted for our family to have her at home, and we knew that she needed to be taught certain things within our family too, and so we made the decision when she was a long time ago that her end goal would probably be college scholarship.
Daily I go to school, then I come home and like get ready for gym, then I leave at 3:30 to go to carpool, and then I get there at 4, and then I practice till 8, and then we usually get home at like 8:30. I have some really close friends that live in this neighborhood, and they're always like, oh wait, you can't hang out because you have practice, and I'm like, yeah, or I can't go to like parties because I'm at practice.
They don't like you to be out of the gym a lot.
No.
They really, really don't. So, especially if you're in meet season, you don't miss. There's numbers you're hitting that per routine and per event, and you're not allowed to miss. Even at her level, they would like you, if you're on a family vacation, to find a gym and go at least stretch and condition and those types of things. But so it is a little bit, you have to be careful how much we take her out of the gym. There are some rules that they want you to follow. Yeah. She gets off maybe like 1, maybe 2 weeks a year. And the thing is she is an interesting kid where she's never ever come home and said, I don't want to go to gym.
There are some days where you just don't want to go because either you're like scared for something or you're just not feeling it. But the other, I always feel better when I do go because I usually get better on something or learn something new.
It's so much of who she is. If she weren't in the gym year round, she'd be bouncing off the furniture, on the bed. She does not know how to sit still and not do gymnastics. She just doesn't.
Right. It would be so foreign.
Oh.
To not have.
Honestly, she has so much energy that we finally have found a good balance with her being at the gym, because she has so much energy that when she's not at the gym for a day or two, she needs to go back and release energy. So she's just high strung. Between fees and her monthly tuition and competitive fees and travel, about 8,000, between 8,000 and roughly around that.
The goal, I think one of our goals is obviously that Avery has an opportunity to earn a gymnastics scholarship, and I often joke that by the time she gets to that point, I will have paid for college probably a couple of times over. But it's just an expensive sport. It's like anything. It's just the way that it is, and she enjoys it. She continues to enjoy it, and as long as she does, we're going to let her continue to do it. As long as Avery likes what she's doing, she has fun doing it, and it's a benefit to her life, that's great. Mm-hmm. But if it's academics, or if Avery comes home one day and says, you know what, it's just not as fun as it used to be.
We'll cry.
Yeah, it'll be sad because it'll be different.
Be sad.
It'll be different than what our life has been, but at the same time, it'll be perfectly okay.
I just love it. It's like it comes easy to me, so I just love to twist, and I love to like flip and like landing it like good, or getting like a good from your coach. It's like very motivating to yourself.
I would like to, in the future, go to college and play D1 hockey and hopefully go pro with hockey.
He was 4.5 when we signed him up for a hockey camp, and I thought it was just kind of like just a fun little thing, I didn't have to have all the equipment or anything, and the coach comes to me and goes, he needs to be on the ice at 8 o'clock with full gear. And I was like, whoa. And I went up to the rink to go get him that afternoon, and there was a reporter there that was taking pictures of him, because by the end of the day he could skate backwards perfectly. And I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
Well, I guess when he wanted to continue with hockey year after year. I think by the time we left Maryland, we figured we'd be going to the hockey rinks.
Because I fell in love with it too. I never liked hockey until I started watching him play hockey.
Oh, well, it's not all fun and games. I mean, I know that scouts who, I mean, even now they're kind of still they're looking, and they've been kind of talking with me too. I just keep on playing the game.
Probably 15,000, yeah.
What's expensive about hockey is the ice time.
Because an hour of ice time is like $360 an hour in this state. You know, it's cheap when you get it, like you go to Minnesota or whatever.
We're just happy that we can make things happen for them, you know, that we can afford to, you know, have them play hockey and do gymnastics or cheer and keep them busy, you know, have them develop, because that's what these sports do for them. It helps them grow and it helps them develop and interact with other kids. It's not just about the game, it's, you know, it's much more than that. It involves the whole family.
And we travel all over the place, and we see all sorts of different areas of the country with hockey.
I tell Alex this all the time. You know, I'm not looking for the team to win or, you know, anything like that. What I'm looking for is for him to give his best. If we're committed to his interests, then he has to give his best for his interest. We've always made it clear that school comes first. So long as he keeps up with his grades, if he wants to play hockey, we'll keep supporting him as long as he can keep up with his grades. And he has.
You know, wake up and go to school. After that, go home, shoot some pucks, do my homework, and go straight to practice. And after practice, I just come home, kind of sleep, and then if I have time, I do more homework. I do track right now. I used to do a lot of other sports, but I couldn't because I just couldn't juggle everything with hockey and other sports like that and school.
You know, when Alex was younger, he could do hockey and gymnastics at the same time. Both are very time-consuming, demanding sports.
I've done hockey all my life, and I think I was pretty good at gymnastics, but overall I think I was a better hockey player than anything. I think it's worth it, kind of missing stuff for hockey, because hockey is what I love to do. My school friends and like track friends and everyone else, they kind of want me to take a rest with everything, because I kind of overwork myself sometimes, but I always get back on my feet and keep on rocking and rolling.
One thing that they stressed about getting a hockey scholarship is getting the grades, because a team could use a player just because he's good, but if he's academically sound, they can not have to use the athletic scholarship, they can use the academic scholarship and get more players on that team.
Many of the athletes, they don't all get full scholarships. You know, they may just get a partial scholarship. So, you know, we're hoping that he does well enough in school that he can, you know, he can get both.
I kind of wanted to go to University of Maine or Minnesota, or something like that. Really, any kind of college with good hockey program. My neighbor, he went to University of Maine and played D1 there, so I kind of want to be like him when I grow up. Hopefully pro, or doing something else I love. I mean, there always has to be a backup plan.
You know, when your kid excels, you kind of like it. It's a lot of fun. You can put your chest out. And
My parents are pretty supportive of me playing hockey and everything. They support me 100% with anything I do, pretty much. So I'm grateful for that.
It's very rewarding to see Alex do well in something that he really enjoys. And I mean, it's a consistent love. It's not something that he loved one year and next year he's on to something else. I mean, we can see that he really has a passion for this.
Just the feeling like skating through the ice and having that air go through my helmet, I really enjoy that.
Mesa Community College head women's volleyball coach Brent Martindale has a different take on club sports, experiencing it as a father, a coach, and an organizer.
I've had players that aren't club experienced and that are. And there undoubtedly is a big difference. You know, I think it helps my team more. It helps more in the sense of what I need for that particular player on the roster. It definitely adds experience.
Martindale realizes this applies to sports across the board, and it isn't all about club for him.
It depends on what all parties involved determine what worth it means.
We, as parents, where we sometimes become vulnerable to making bad choices, is when we begin to see sports as kind of a stepping stone, as a career path.
Mark Hyman, author of The Most Expensive Game in Town, examines the youth club sports industry and doesn't see scholarships as a likely payoff.
I'd like to tell parents that if your goal is for your child to get a scholarship to college, it's probably a better idea to hire a biology tutor.
Yeah, the lack of scholarship situation problems, those stories are really hard to hear. Dads just saying, I spent twice as much in club for any scholarship I got or didn't get any scholarship. So it's tough that way. So I think if young players are willing to go anywhere, like literally anywhere in the United States, then there might be definitely more chances. But sometimes the dollar per dollar value isn't going to work out. Hundreds of girls playing club volleyball, probably doing it thinking and being told that they're going to get a scholarship somewhere. And the percentages are still really, really low in terms of how many club players there are and how many scholarship positions are actually available. So I'm not accusing any clubs of being dishonest. I'm just saying sometimes it is a little unrealistic of what is promised.
This time you got to kick it with that foot, okay, Hudson?
I think sometimes it is lost. I think that the purpose is lost in what we're trying to do. Let's just try to have a good experience but the cost, it's just outrageous.
Fran Dakari of StatsDad.com spent close to $12,000 in 2011 for 2 kids' sports costs, factoring in uniforms, gas, shoes, and whatnot.
Way too much stuff. Everybody has to have a backpack, everybody has to have a travel bag, everybody has to have 3 uniforms, everybody has to have sweats, then they have to have breast cancer awareness pink shirts, so now they have a 4th uniform, and it's just too much. It's just way too much for almost anybody. It's making it exclusive so that people only with a certain salary range can really compete at the highest level and get the best experience. And that's wrong. That's wrong. There's a lot of kids that are probably missing out on what the real purpose is supposed to be. My view is it should be okay to pay a little extra to do some club. It's just escalated far out of the atmosphere, in my opinion.
While it can seem at times to be an endless road of money falling from front pockets along the way, many parents would agree that there are overwhelming benefits to their children playing club sports, which require so much devotion from an athlete and family. In some instances, the payoff can't be measured by numbers.
She says, my daughter's having the time of her life. She says she has new friends that are good kids. She's actually working a little job to pay for it. Her grades are going up because she's more. She says, I couldn't afford not to play club volleyball. And so, you wish every story was like that. They're probably not, unfortunately, but there is that potential for club. It has that. It does all those things. It can be a good experience.
But whatever happened to playing multiple sports throughout the year? Has that been overshadowed by the desire to dominate in one sport?
The multi-sport athlete is disappearing quite a bit. The multi-sport athletes are the ones that they're pretty tough. They have physical skills that are going to go beyond just the chronic reuse injuries that club athletes. So that's definitely one of the drawbacks. And what I got out of those athletes, I got really good athletes, track athletes that could jump real high, but then there was always a difference. I think burnout is another one that happens with clubs. So I think the injury and the emotional, psychological effect can take its toll.
And in youth sports, we seem content to just go along this path with 70% of the, quote-unquote customers walking away at age 13. So I think kids are telling us, if we listen, kids are telling us this is really not the best system for us.
I just wish it were more fun for more kids. I think that would benefit everybody. It would not detract from my recruiting if we obviously had more young girls having more opportunities to have more fun.
I think it's kind of a puzzle. Why are all of these services needed if for years and years colleges were able to fill their rosters without them?
Some college coaches are straight club. They don't even recruit during the high school season. They hardly even go to a high school game. I know that's the case of a lot of coaches.
My gut feeling about this is that the best players rise to the top, whether they're playing rec sports or club sports.
See, that to me is the alternative, is high school just expanding their skill work a little bit. Instead of having to go club, have the high schools do something more in the summer, right? They already do camps, I guess, but something more. Maybe a high school spring league or something like that. Let's just cut it back a little bit. I think the benefits would be just as good in terms of skills, and then they would improve in terms of burnout and injury and things like that. So again, in a perfect world. So
Alan Alexander, sand volleyball coach, has broken away from the competitive edge in volleyball and dedicated his team to having fun.
Time where you mishit it in front of you when you set the ball right here. If you can...
Alan says that his stress-free volleyball zone helps kids enjoy the sport more.
There it is. Hey!
Yeah, I do think that sports has always been kind of like that escape from the stress of school and homework and boyfriends and girlfriends and all that. And so we really think that these kids, for the most part, that are joining, it's just for them to just get away from everything. And so I do think that's a big factor.
These girls, varying from ages 10 to 18, have very different schedules than club volleyball athletes. They practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays and have the option to compete in weekend events. Other than that, these youth go home and focus on schoolwork or whatever other hobby they enjoy. While his team is for just about anyone wanting to have fun without stress, Alan feels that club sports benefit the competitive and the dedicated.
I think that there's two sides of it. I mean, I think that there's definitely that value for those kids to get out there and to play competitively, but then there's those kids that, maybe that's not what they need right now. They're just 13 years old, they're 14 years old. They don't need that constant, got to be out there 4 days a week, got to be out there at the weekend tournament. They just need, that space, and then they might develop to that. So that's what we really want to be there for.
Club may not be for everyone, yet according to an ESPN survey, 21.5 million youth in America ages 6 to 17 participate in an organized competitive team. If it is not the best fit for everyone, what is it that is driving the population to play in such competition, the parents or the children?
I definitely see the kids who, it's what their parents want. And you can tell that when I ask them what their goals are, it's what, my mom or dad got me into it, and a lot of times we try to figure out what's driving these kids. Is it their passion or is it their parents' passion? So for the kids who, they're the ones driving the parents, they really want it, those are the kids who are having a blast.
I just love it. It's just like the adrenaline of getting a compliment or like just skills that I can have in my pocket.
I like playing with higher competition just to push me harder. I wouldn't imagine quitting hockey.
So what is the price? It's the money, the time, and the dedication. But if the passion, the persistence, and the drive is there, it becomes all worth the price to play.